Hey everybody, this is Bubba the Vulture, and it's time for more Let's Play Extreme Warfare Revenge. And I believe Bean is watching the season premiere of Doctor Who over there, so that'll be fun for her. I think the other thing that Miss B did note that could be fun for purposes of having like single individual folks for an individual one go around would be I could get some women's matches in. Though the women at this end of the pay scale are a little low on talents, broadly speaking. Some of them have pretty good charisma scores, which I guess is a thing, like valets. Um, it's just the situation on the ground in pro wrestling. At least it had been for many years. It's getting a lot better now. Um, but it had been a thing for a long time that basically your females were there to be valets, to be, you know, to be like escorts, to be good looking. Erica Porter, there is a good, pretty good all rounder. She's a high flyer, but 12 grand. Still, I would think about hiring her on. Erin Bray, look at that's a good charisma score. She is a good manager. Grace Rocket. Ah, yes, Jade. I feel like I remember seeing Jade in these things before. Uses the tailspin elbow. She does not speak, though, which would make it difficult to use her as a manager. Honeysuckle Rose. She's got a high charisma score. Something really shocking happened on the TV show. I think she maybe roughly started at around the same time as I started this video, maybe a couple minutes before, so if that gives you any idea of where she might be. You can think about how far in the episode the shocking swerve took place. Mercedes Martinez, not a bad wrestler either. Working 10 ground, a tornado DDT finisher. And here's Natty Neidhart. She is related to the Armstrong family. There you go. But yeah, just I guess a reasonable all-rounder. Nokito Nagare, Phoebe Buttman, Buttman, Rio Storm, Sandy Sanchez. Sandy Sanchez has a high charisma score. She would want to be a main eventer. She's a manager. Well, no, she's a wrestler, but she would be a manager in my world. Sorry. That's not a bad all-rounder there, but she is unemployed. Sasha Savvy. Secretary Symphony. Wow, Sherry Bop is a spectacular talent. I would want Sherry Bop on my team for show. She's not working for anybody right now. Well, we'll see about that. SoCal Val, I think, was a TNA knockout for some amount of time. I don't even know if she was listed on the official roster, if she was just, they had like women that would just like sort of stand around outside the ring. She was one of those, maybe. XTC wants to work for 9 grand. Man. Yeah, so I'm not gonna do much change into this because we're gaining enough in public image. And Let's meet with the writing staff. How's that? Excuse me. Jafar should be further up the card, so should El Machito. We should push Jarrell Clark more. Everybody needs to be pushed more. El Machito's act is starting to grow stale. Jarrell Clark's current gimmick is killing his heat. Trent Baker's act is starting to grow stale. GQ Smooth could use a change of gimmick. Axel Law could use a change of gimmick. Marcos would be best served by freshening up his character. Our top draw is El Machito. Alright, so we got a couple of guys that could use a new gimmick. I'm going to try and not do these all at once. Let's see. Also, first of all, let me look at the roster. Dunn makes $8,000 per appearance. It is Marcos who is asking for $12,000 now. And I'm pretty much... He's back, and his skills are all gone, basically. He no longer has any good skills. He is not back to 100%. I kind of want to terminate his contract. But let's see. He has a charisma of 65, and we've built him up. Make him a new contract offer. I don't accept these conditions. Did that reduce his morale? Out of curiosity. It is 65 right now. I do not accept these conditions. It's staying at 65. What if I offered him his release? I don't think leaving is a good career move for me at the moment. He formally rejects our offer of a release. Well, it's an open contract. So we can terminate it if we want. I mean, I hate doing it to the guy, but we're not going to use him. This worker is only under an open contract and so can be released for free. Proceed. I hate firing people. It's just business, though. He's not very good. Let's go back in here and talk to the writing staff. That will soothe me a little bit. So GQ Smooth and Trent Baker, they need new characters. What are their characters right now? Does Trent Baker have a character right now? He does not have a character. GQ Smooth doesn't have a character either. I mean, considering his name is GQ Smooth, I kind of feel like he needs to be, like, a ladies' man. Not an adult film star, though. Celebrity figure, badass BOG, biker bitch, blue chipper, bodyguard, boy band, boy bum, bumbling Englishman, cheater, city slicker, comedian, comedy character, comic book hero, comrade, the con man, officer, country singer, cult leader. Just going through all these, trying to see if we have anybody who's just sort of fun drunk. The gangsta, gay, gender bender, genius, girl power, hero, high society, Iceman, luchador, machine, mafia. And basically, to me, GQ Smooth could be either the name of somebody who is a model who would appear on GQ all the time, or GQ Smooth could be like a rap name or something. So that's what I'm looking at right now. People's Boss, Pirate, Postal Worker, Power and Paint, Prima Donna, Pro USA, Psycho Punk Putz, Pyromaniac, Racist, So Rapper is Possible, Ravishing, Royalty, Savage, Seductress, Chic, Show Stealer, Sidekick, Slob, Slut, Split Personality, Sports Agent, Staff Member, Stoner, Streaker, Street Fighter, Suave. I'm thinking I might go back to Suave. But I want to double check what they think of Suave as a thing, because I think it's possible to be a, let's, tell me about possible gimmicks. Let's go down and check out what you guys describe Suave as. This worker is a slick ladies' man who is always stylish and composed. Example, Ric Flair. Ric Flair has wrestled most of his career as a heel, but he has been a fan favorite for a good amount of time as well. I think I will go ahead and give GQ Smooth the character of Suave. And that's all I'm going to do this month. Suave. Let's make the change. And that'll happen in his next appearance. Let's look at other workers. Let's go into search criteria, because I get the feeling I'm going to be getting rid of Marcos pretty soon. Are there any charismatic wrestlers under the cap that are any good? Dr. Hertz is a good brawler. Drew Johnson's a pretty good brawler. Jason Sugarman's very good, except at speed. Should think about hiring Jason Sugarman regardless. He uses the Sugar Smack as a finisher, so that's something to think about. He doesn't have any attributes specifically. What if I hired you as a tweener? What if I hired you for a written contract for 5 years? I suppose that's fair. What about 10 grand? Then let's go back. You know what, I think for this month, debuting GQ Smooth's new gimmick will probably be enough. I don't like to give people too much shocking change day in and day out. Let's look at the internet. What's going on in the battleground? Talented Sanjay Dutt is impressing everyone backstage. So what I would like to do, maybe once everybody is done getting fresh characters, I would like to thinking I might turn Takamura. And once I've done that, well, let's see what's going on here. Ricky Morton, Earthquake, Bobby Eaton, Shannon Ballard, Johnny Smith, and there are your new contracts, your new sponsorship deals. That's the terms I was looking for. But what I would like to do in the end is turn either Takamura or Sanjay Dutt. I'm thinking Takamura, but Sanjay Dutt does a decent heel act too. I've seen him do it in the ring. I don't know whether he's good at cutting heel promos, but according to his stats in this game, he's not good at cutting any promos. So what does it matter? I'm just going to be having some guy or gal stand next to him and talk about how Sanjay Dutt, he's an unstoppable powerhouse. No one will be able to stand in his way. He's going to crush everyone in his league. Or say, Sanjay Dutt, he believes in all of you. He believes in the fans. He's appreciative of your support. And he's going to go straight to the top by giving it 110% every day out there in the ring. You know, it's going to be one or two of those things. Or one of two of those things. So apparently, yeah, Sanjay Dutt's just going to be standing next to a manager and just like, you know, grimacing at the camera or smiling at the camera, depending. Our public image is increasing without me even doing anything. Nice. Maybe the industry is starting to recover. Or maybe the advertising is actually working its magic. Magic, do do do. You could have anything that you desire. You could, folks. Just bear that in mind. You could have anything you desire. So if you don't have everything that you desire, you're doing something wrong. That's that's what I get out of the song Magic, anyways. I don't know about all of you at home. I wonder how many more of these shows I'm gonna have, or videos I'm gonna have. We're at 41. Wow, it's going great. Is the industry picking back up? No, the industry is still weakening, but our advertising is doing the trick. So, geez. Okay, before the show, our public image is 41. I am now paranoid and thinking that it is entirely possible that our matches and our cards are actually lowering our public image, and our advertising is the only thing that's raising it up. So right now we're at 41. So let's bear that in mind and go check the 82 emails that have shown up. Lots of TV ratings. ROH fell to cult level. And so they released a bunch of people. Going crazy. Heat's been renewed. MLW Underground's been renewed. Joey Idol. Roger Baby. Crush. Okay. Vic Capri. Brandon Robinson. Josh Cody. Pepper Parks. Anguished Screams was one of the pay-per-view events I just saw scrolling by there as I was scrolling those cinemas. And we still have 17 workers on the roster, so it's good. Again, 41% image. Let's look at the event history here. Oh man, I can't believe this match only got 56% because there was a 20% match response. These two put on a hell of a match. Oh. Anyways. So let's see. How's everybody doing in terms of their morale? Everybody feeling pretty happy? Dunn's not very happy, but he's still out with a knee injury. Mojito's in good shape. Oh, Mojito was in pretty good shape. Oh, Mojito's still not super happy. You know what? I am going to, let's see. Alter his position. I could promote him up a level in the roster. Up. I'll promote that roster. See, now he's super happy because he's an upper mid-carder. Look how happy El Mojito is. He's like just clapping, like, yay! Like that. That is El Mojito right now. Well, there you go. He just needed to feel appreciation. Now I hope not everyone else is also thinking, hey, come on. Why am I not getting that kind of love? All right. So these are all of our dudes. They're carrying the news. And they're looking at nudes. So who should GQ Smooth have his new gimmick debut match with? Has a fun time face. He could have it with Axel Law. I'm sure it was in response to something in the television, but right after I said he could have his debut match with Axel Law, Bean said, "What?" That didn't seem like it was that bad an idea to me, but what are you gonna do? Fast Eddie, maybe. Although, Fast Eddie and GQ Smooth could put on a decent match together. Jafar and GQ Smooth. Now there's a match. Look at those similar stats. And Jafar could use a nice match too. So I tell you what, let's go back. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Glad I'm getting pushed up the card. Thanks. See, and El Machito sent us a thank you note, guys. El Machito is so considerate. He's a sweetheart. 41%. So let us go ahead and we need to get a match for. Well, let's see. What are we at with the stats in this angle? We're not very far yet. So Axel on Steve Stone. Who can Steve Stone face in this particular matchup? Let's go down and check out Steve Stone's stats. So, who would be a good Steve Stone opponent? Marcos would be if he just, man. I'm going to have to go back and double check. He's got to have lost a step in his stats. I wouldn't have hired somebody with those sorts of stats. I mean, not to be a jerk, but yeah, wouldn't have done it. Fast Eddie and Steve Stone. There you go. Fast Eddie and Steve Stone will put on a fantastic match. And then Axel Law will come in and interfere. Yes, that is going to be our main event. 1-versus-1 single match. This is going to be Fast Eddie and Steve Stone. Look at that. Do they have a rivalry already? I forget. No, Fast Eddie had a rivalry with Jeremy the Fifth. Why do I keep messing that up? This is going to be a win for Fast Eddie. Because there's going to be a run-in by Axel Law. And it is going to be by interference. And then afterwards, it's going to be a 2-on-1 on Steve Stone. Because Fast Eddie, also a client of Bruce Sanchez. So, this is all about Bruce Sanchez trying to get one over on Steve Stone. That said, we're going to start out with an interview here. It is going to be single worker with manager, Bruce Sanchez with Axel Law. Once again, they're going to be cutting yet another promo about Steve Stone, because that's the way that they like to do things. Let's continue that feud on. And maybe what I'll do here is have an angle at some point where maybe I can start the show with an angle. How's that? Is that a good thing to do? Angles that involve managers. Manager gets beaten up. Manager gets beaten up to lure face out. Manager has a plan. Manager Lures face into trap. Oh man, that's a good one. Manager lures a face into an assault by another worker. We're going to have to use some of those angles later too. Let's exit out of that for now. Let's have that be the angle right before this match. No, 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 no. We'll save that for next month because obviously we're already doing the run into the match interference. So yeah, that is a good. I'm gonna say that'll turn out to be a good match. Good match. Now let's have GQ Smooth and Jafar. They're gonna get it on, and it's gonna be a good way for GQ Smooth to debut his new gimmick. And these two guys are pretty good, so I want them to have a nice singles match up here. It is going to be Jafar versus GQ Smooth. Actually, no. I'm going to make that the second match of the night. Jafar versus GQ Smooth match. 1v1. Single match. Jafar versus GQ Smooth. And there is not a title on the line. And the winner is going to be GQ Smooth. It's going to be clean, because that's how GQ Smooth likes to keep it. He likes to keep it clean, because that's how smooth GQ Smooth is. And this is to put on a good match. Let's finish that segment. Now, let's have Axel Law beat up somebody. Maybe that's what Sanjay Dutt can do this week. Or Takamura. He could he could catch a beating from Axel Law. This is gonna be a match. Yeah. Turn off my television there real quick because it computer went to sleep. 1 versus 1. It's a singles match. Gonna be Axel Law versus actually, who haven't I used recently? Well, Nate, did you have a match last week? I forget. Let's go ahead and put you in the match against Katsushi. And there's not a title on the line. It's going to be a win for Axel Law. Axel Law is going to win cleanly. And then afterward, he is going to run away. Because he is sleazy. Just to put on a good match. And so what do we want our opener here to be? Could have Chris Sprules come out here for a match. Chris Sprules already is in the main event. What am I thinking about? Or if he's not, why is he not? Alright, yeah. Chris Sprules hasn't had a match in a little while. Let's put Chris Sprules in a match with Tommy Chill. I feel like these two would put on a good match. And I would like to see if I am right. Nobody suggested it yet. So there we go. Match. One-on-one. Singles. TNC Surf Designs versus Chris Sprules. There's no title on the line. We are going to give this win to Chris Sprules. It's going to be clean. And there's not going to be any big aftermath to it because they're just putting on a good match for everybody. Put on a good match. Do do do. So, let's go ahead and start this off. Jafar's relatively over, right? Let's let him do hype for he's going to be talking about GQ Smooth. And this is to hype the match they're about to have. And GQ Smooth is going to come out here debuting his new gimmick. And he's going to be calling out Jafar. So that'll be fun, right? That'll be to hype their match. So let's see. What else do we have going on here today? Could have here we go. We can have an angle. Wait, let's go. Let's exit. Here we go. Let's do a manager angle here. Let's try and evolve one of these into the world of wrestling. Manager has a plan. He has a cunning plan to discuss with his client. It is Bruce Sanchez and Axel Law. What are they talking about? The match was over. And let's go ahead and have Miss Tenille come out. With Steve Stone. And they will go ahead and also do an interview about Axel Law to continue the feud. Just to keep things rolling, folks. Just to keep rolling, 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 yep. So, there you go. Got a lot of, I think we got a lot of good quality this show. Let's go ahead and give it a whirl, and see what happens. Jafar gained overness from the segment. It was a well-rated segment. Bruce Sanchez and Axel Law both gained overness from this 55%, so kind of not great segment. Let's see how this opening match went. 73%, so not bad. The crowd reaction is 50, so either they're warmed up or these two just have a little bit of gravitas in the ring there, so people are actually paying attention. GQ Smooth debuted his new gimmick, and it got a positive response. Yes! And he gained overness from the segment, which had a pretty good rating. And he and Jafar had a decent match. The crowd, again, pretty into things, so the overall rating is up. Miss Tenille gained overness from hanging out with Steve Stone. Reflected glow, I guess. 62% is not a bad rating. I'll take that. And this turned out to be a pretty good match. Axel Law versus Katsushi Takamura. And the crowd reaction, 41%, so not great, but still enough to keep us above 50. Oh, the worst segment of the night is our debut of using the angle function. Well, no, I guess we used it for Miss Tenille to introduce new workers, but Bruce Sanchez is backstage with his client Axel Law. Sanchez says he has a plan and begins to explain what it is. Scene fades out before he reveals what's going on. Bruce Sanchez gained over in his friend with though, so I guess it accomplished something. So Fast Eddie and Steve Stone had a much better match than Axel Law and Steve Stone have had thus far, it seems like. So, yeah. Collision between Axel Law, Stone, and the chair. Steve Stone staggers back into a roll-up. It's over. Eddie and Axel put the boots to Steve Stone, stomping away. 58%, that's one of our better rated shows recently, I think. So it was at 41%. Oh, it's up to 43. All right. All right. So we're not actually doing that much to improve our ratings with our shows, but we aren't actively hurting them. HBR of the God. Jafar and GQ Smooth have fantastic chemistry in the ring. It adds a lot to their match. El Majito would like to work with Fast Eddie. I think he thinks I'd be impressed with the results. I overused Axel Law at the last show. The fans started to get sick of seeing him. Oh, that's true. Because he was in the interview segment. He was in a match of his own. He was in the planning, the manager angle segment, and the actual match where he ran interference. So that's a good call, Road Agent. 143 people. Okay. So let's see here. Jafar and GQ Smooth. Oh yeah, Jafar and GQ Smooth. That's a fact. They have good chemistry. So there you go. No question mark there. First, El Majito, and El Majito wants to work with Fast Eddie. Oh, and that doesn't have a question mark either, so they must have pretty good chemistry as well. So let's clear everything out here. So that turned out okay, right? Right, guys? Right. We're moving up in the world, I feel like, honestly. Uh-oh, there was an incident. Last man standing, crowning of a champion. Once more with feeling. ROH Sunday's been removed. What is this incident? The recent behavior of El Machito has annoyed several other members of the locker room. Oh, El Machito, what are you trying to do? Geez, you promote somebody up the roster once and they get all big in their britches. I'm going to suspend you for today. I'm suspending him for 1 month, folks, but it's the last day of the month. I'm sending a strong message about this kind of horseplay. Yes, nodding sagely. That is what I do right now. Nod, nod, nod. So, TV ratings. Battle Arts, Touring Workers, Josh Cody, Vic Grimes, Tom Howard, El Majito's returned from suspension. Trent Baker wants money. So does Tommy Chill. So does Steve Stone. Staff member Laughing Larry, no longer under contract with us. Okay. Zeborah Stripes, no longer under contract. Davey Cornell, no longer under contract. So there you go. Our sponsorship deal with McMars Bars is now ended. We made $48,000 off of merchandise this month. Superb work. We're making money. So we made 48 grand off of merchandise. Wait, why did I click other promotions? That's not what I want. We only invested 40 grand. So it's time to up the merchandising again. It absolutely is. Let's talk to Sophie first. We need to hire medics and a referee. Yes. I no longer have a production worker, do I? I have a road agent. I have an announcer. I have a writer. I have another writer. I have 2 writers? Oh, right, okay. And I have a production person. Okay, I do have a production person. The least talented production person in the world. So I do need to hire a referee and a medic. Need to hire a referee and a medic. Laughing Larry is not. Zeborah Stripes is not. What was Davy Cornell's job? Oh yeah, never mind. So I need a. Let's look for refs. Refs with maximum talent of 40, and let's go with a minimum talent of 30. Who do we have here? Let's go back to search criteria again. Who is willing to work for less than 12 grand? Chuck Arton, Sonny Ocho, 12 grand for 2 years. Chuck Arn, 12 grand for 2 years. 10 grand. 8 grand. Let's remember Felony back there. Felony apparently real happy to work for peanuts. Let's go ahead and offer Felony a 2-year contract for 8 grand a month. Felony will sign that contract. So now let's look for medics. Ed Easter is the only person who fits this standard. We'll work for 5 grand. So you know what? I am happy to sign you, sir. What about announcers? Any announcers in this ballpark? No staff want to work for 12 grand. Joe Hamilton, 16. John House, 16. Kiki Blaze, 15. Ron Head, 20. Rico Beatty, 14. Joe Hamilton, would you like a job? Or should I just get, kind of tempted to just get, yeah, what if I go to Extreme Mail here? Yeah, let's clear all this out. What are we doing here, Sophie? Market's strong at the moment, 61% though, and it's weakening. We're at public image of 44. I'm going to go ahead and up the merchandising to level 3. Finance, we made big money last month, I guess because, oddly enough, merchandise sales went from 25 to 48, so it's not a, I know, I'm surprised too. So it's going to go back up to being an expenditure, but that's okay, honestly. I'm okay with it. Let's go back again. What else do I need to check into right? Oh yeah, I need to go into the events. We don't have another guy. Unless we use Dennis Shock as announcer and color commentator. What if we used a wrestler and we put Tommy Chill in there? Yeah, that'd be good, right? Ask Sophie. We still can't do big events or pay-per-views. Oh, and we that was the other thing that we did. We lost a sponsor. So who is interested in doing business with us? Probably a McMars bar, as it looks like. It's a McMars bar. How much time in our existing Minty Fresh? 8 months. All right. What if we didn't go for interested? Went for morality of 100%, and the minimum pay was, what did we say here from Sophie? Finance. Could probably get 100,000 per show from sponsors. So let's go back here. Let's look at the sponsors. We're not talking about just interested only ones. We're talking about anybody who will pay $100,000. And we had somebody who was already going 485 or something, right? So, already signed with us, already signed with us, already signed with us, not signed with us. 92 or 95? Morality 90%. That... Yeah, we would need to significantly change our product for any of those. Let's just go ahead and continue on with McMars bars. I will give them another year on contract. Here's to a great partnership indeed, friends. So, that's it, folks. We did it. We got through another exciting month. We have buffed up our staff a little bit. I am tempted to buff up our advertising budget, but we'll see how things go for now. If continue making money this way, we do have a little bit more merchandising money sunk, and you know, well, we'll see. Actually, let me go into finance here. I want to see who's selling the most stuff. Chris Rules, apparently by a long shot, selling the most stuff. Actually, let's go into the meeting and check with the writing staff. Axel is not being pushed enough, even though he's in a main event feud right now, as is Steve Stone. Vegito would be best served by freshening up his character. True. Clark's, yeah, well, Little Nate and Axel Law, they all have acts that are starting to grow stale. So Trent Baker, Little Nate, El Magito. Axel Law, I don't really want to mess with his act until after this rivalry is over, after this feud is done. So let's see, Little Nate, Trent Baker, or El Magito. Who do I want to give a new gimmick to? El Magito already has one, so let's check on Trent Baker and Little Nate. Trent Baker, you don't have a gimmick right now. Little Nate, you don't have a gimmick right now either. Let's see your worker attributes. You do high spots. Your name is Little Nate. I feel like the name Little Nate is asking for an underdog style make change. Let's go back into the meeting and make sure that when I say underdog, they're not saying Little Nate will actually come out in a dog costume and tell everyone there's no need to fear. Underdog, like Spike Dudley. There you go. His name is Lil Nate. Nobody's named Lil unless they're an underdog in some respect. Let's go to the internet. El Vegito performing well in Japan, as is Lil Nate. who may have a mystery new gimmick. Ooh. That's right, it's a mystery. Ryland used the filler text. Insane Dragon has been rumored to be in negotiations with us. Yeah. And our sponsors are all good. Great sponsors. Sherry Bop, yes. Sherry Bop is a good female worker. I would pick her up if we could get her under a written contract. Probably make her primarily a manager, but then they would actually be able to have good matches. Bruiser Brody, woo! Oh, actually, this is not about Bruiser Brody. It is about the Predator. Recently, the Predator has been catching my eye, which is amazing because the Predator has stealth camouflage. I forget if I've already used that joke. Probably. Low key, the King of the Indies, Michael Rans, for whatever reason, isn't over. Who's the worst offender? Wayne DeBruce. Okay. 5 riskiest promotions. We are not one of the riskiest promotions out there. Interestingly, WWE. Well, I guess yeah, we're almost as risky as NWA, WWE, and World Extreme, but I just took 1 percentage point away. Excuse me. Major League Wrestling, the number 3 promotion in North America. Wrestling Heat, what kind of rumors are there out there? Principal Pound's not really injured. Anthony Michaels is in trouble. Christopher Daniels could be showing up at WWE. Wouldn't that be something, folks? The fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. Independent scene. We're seeing Insane Dragon, Raj Ghosh, and Sade. They keep on asking about Insane Dragon, don't they? World League Wrestling in trouble? Who knows? Is Sean Styles? Chris Jericho, the greatest? Independent worker Taka Michinoku? Who knows? What's Coachman's dance of the day? It's Samba. Alright, let's look up Insane Dragon, just for funsies. Insane Dragon. He is one skilled motherfucker. I will give him that. Not a great brawler, but he is a great fast guy, great technical. He's got charisma. He wants a lot of money, though. Lightweight worker uses the revolting twist as a finisher. You know what? Does he have attributes? He's friendship with Matt Capitelli. He has a superstar look. This, honestly, if I felt like throwing out some extra money, I think this would be the kind of thing that Miss B would be talking about. Hiring a guy like Insane Dragon and just feeding him to one of our guys. Just like Mad Dragon shows up, Insane Dragon shows up for a card. It's like, who is this amazing superstar? And we just have our guys just clobber him because our guys are the best. Yeah. He's good, though. He is good. Honestly, if I were a wealthy promotion, I would probably hire him even at 29 grand a month. I might get him on a written contract in that sense, but yeah, he's pretty good. So think about that, everybody. Let's look at our feuds too. I keep developing this. It's getting interesting. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's pretty near its end at this point, though. I think usually they only go somewhere between 10 and 12 before Sophie starts saying, let's wrap it up. Either way, folks, this is Bobo the Vulture. This has been Let's Play Extreme Warfare Revenge. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. When we come back next time, we are going to go into another, I believe it's going to be the anniversary show, right? Yeah. Moving into Anniversary Bash. Let's see if we can keep the public image rolling upwards. We're halfway, folks. We're halfway to getting into... What are the sizes of the feds? What is the... Is it cult and then regional, or regional and then cult? I forget. So let's see. ECWA is cult, and ECCW is regional. So let's go and look at the overall rankings. ECCW is down here, and ECWA is up here. So yes, regional is beneath cult. But I think once you get to regional, you can start doing stuff. We'll see in the future, folks. But bye for now.